Morning, all of you. Hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, Anuj.
Okay, good. So, in the last class, good morning, good morning. So, in the last class, I was talking about generics concept. This is where we have stopped. For a few days, this sound will be there. You know, just a minute. Let this very loud. Okay. So we were talking about generics in the last class, and you see, generics helps us to, you know, define methods with the parameters. You know, which are of generic type, I can say. Parameters, it's a generic type. Yes. And now it has become a requirement that we need such generic types. And the application for that, the use, real-time use, I can say, is best demonstrated by that collections itself. Collection AP itself is a big example for that. So once, let's go through the collection interface. So you got this add method here, okay, which you can see. Add method, it is used to add. It is used to add the elements to the collection, right? Yes, it is used to add the elements to the collection here. Now, what type of elements can we add to the collection? The add method is supposed to take what type of elements? Yes, the add method, to the collections. Actually, what type of elements we add? Elements means objects, right? What type of elements can we add? Yes. any type of elements. That means any type of objects. Any type of objects, right? Hope you know that. So that means the add method, we have, the Java people, they have to define an add method which can take any type of elements, or which can take any type of objects. That was a challenge. You got the point? So that is what happened. Till Java 5, this issue was addressed like this. What Java people have done is they have provided a method in the collection interface. You know, what is the return type? A Boolean value. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So they have provided a method, you know, add method whose parameter type was object type. This way, they have addressed the issue initially. Till 1.5, till 1.4 version, till 1.4 version, the issue was addressed this way. In 1.5, Java people have introduced a concept called as generics to address this issue. Actually, what is the problem with this approach? Uh, you know, the solution works fine, to some extent, I can say. Okay, to some extent, they've addressed this issue. You see, now this method parameter type is object type, right? Object class is superclass. Object class is the superclass of all the classes in Java, right? It's a cosmic class, a superclass, I can say. Object class is superclass. Yes. Okay. But the issue is here. This is not type safe. The issue is with type safety. Again, we have to each time deal with the typecasting and all when reading the elements and all. Okay. So for suppose again you got add method. Again, this was also the return type was object type, which takes an index value. Now always it returns object type. Now you have to take this element and cast it to appropriate type. Okay. Here, this issue was addressed. And one more thing, this is not type safe. Type safe means we can't restrict the add method to take a particular type of object only. Okay. Yes. Okay. We can't restrict this. That is the issue. Okay. They're not type safe, I can say. So now this issue was addressed through generics concept. How the generics concept addresses this issue? You see, that is what, let's say, we'll take the add method itself. Just I'll name it as add here. Already we saw that in the last class, but once again I'll just show you people. So now what that it is here, instead of specifying a particular type, they've just used this generic type here. So T is a generic type. T is a generic type. Okay. So here you see, now what type it is? Generic type. Now generic means it can be any type, but later on we can decide the type here. Okay. Later on we can decide the type here. Yes. We can decide the type later on. Yeah. When we can decide the type? While instantiating this class. So test, let's say I want that generic type to be string type. You see, we can pass the type as argument here now. We can pass the type as argument to that class, you see, string type. So generic type is string type. So while instantiating the class, you see, we can pass the type as argument. Okay. Now once we do this, now that add method, it takes what type of element now? So generic type is fixed as what type here? Generic type is fixed as what type? String type. Okay. String type here. Yes. Similarly, what if I want the test method, sorry, add method to take a savings account type object. Now we can change the type to savings account. Now we can pass it as an argument again. So we have to instantiate that class savings account. That's it. Now you see the second instance, that second object which you got here. So it takes while instantiating that class, you see we are passing savings account type as argument. That is generic type now. We are fixing that generic type to savings account type now. So now using that test2 object reference, you can call that add method, which takes savings account objects. And the first object which we have created, using that object reference, you can call that method, and it takes string type objects. Yes. So this is how we can use generics concept. So is it clear for you people? Okay, good. Now you see in the API, in the collection API, you see the collection interface, it is widely used. So add E, it takes it. Now you see two array method also, what it does, we got a overloaded two array method. So if you people remember, we can pass any type of array. The array type will be fixed at runtime, while basically while calling that method itself, you will specify the type. Okay, that means generic type can also be passed as an argument. Yeah. Okay. Yes. To the method. Fine. Now, how many uh, generic types can we use here? As of now, we got one generic type, right? So you see T, one generic type. So this variable names can be anything. Okay, variable names can be anything you wish. So in that interface, E is used. And now, how many generic variables can we have here for the class? As of now, we got one parameter, generic type. We're using, you see, the add method takes one parameter which is of type generic type. But it need not be only one parameter, okay? It need not be only one parameter. You can use more than one parameter as generic type, okay? So can you people give me an example where for a method we got more than one parameter as a generic type? Can you people give me an example where for a method we got more than one generic type? We have already used it. You know, in the last class itself we have used it. Surprisingly, in the last class itself we have used it. Come on, there is one method which we used in the last class. Okay, I'll give you a hint. That method is in the map type collections. No, map. In the last class, we have discussed about map, right? In the map, you'll find it. One of the methods in the map. Hash map is a class. I'm talking about a method. Come on, yeah. Mm, Hash map is a class, right? I'm talking about the method. Okay, method in the hash map. Let's say. Oh, put method. Put method. You people saw put method, right? So what put method does? It is used to add an entry to the map. So the entry is a combination of key value pair. You know that. You see, put method takes two parameters, and both the parameters are generic type. The key can be any type, value can be any type. Key can be any type, and value can be any type here. Okay. So is it clear for you people? Now you see the map class has got two generic types. Okay. So that is about generics. So now let's move on. So today's another small topic here is enums. Enums. So let's consider the employee class. Now in the employee class, you see, let me add a field called as gender. Now gender here, generally the values for the gender will be either male or female. Okay, we may have some other types also, but okay, let's imagine only male and female now. Okay, so is it appropriate to declare this type as string, which takes only okay, we can do this, but is it appropriate that we need to think about? Because why I'm saying is it appropriate? Uh, no. Okay, let's say I have this requirement, or let's say you can consider the day as well. Day. Let's say day means from Monday to Sunday again, or Sunday to Saturday. So a day can be one of the seven possible values, right? Day can be one of the seven possible values, right? It can be Monday, Tuesday, it can be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. But these are the examples. So if you consider year, then the year names can be only possibly year can be one of the 12 possible month names, right? Sorry, month. If we talk about months, the month value can be one of the 12 possible values. That's it. From Jan to December, you know that. Okay. Now let's come back to this gender also the same, whether it should be male or female, right? So is there any way for us to fix this values? Can we restrict the values to be only male or female? So can we add any such constraint here that the gender value can be either male or female? So that you know it could be, we can do that. It is not impossible. But you see, when we have such requirements, this is where Java has introduced enum type, where we can just confine a variable value to set of values, possible set of values. That is where we can use enum type. Enum is a type. Enum type, I can say. Okay. So we can declare a variable. Now we can make this gender enum type, where it can take only one of the possible values, either male or female. Yes, it is possible. We can do that. Okay. Now I'll show you people. So I'll define a enum type here. Okay. Yes. I'm creating a enum type here. Okay. Yes. You see, you got new enum. You see, the way we can define a class, similarly we can also define enum type here. We can also define enum type. Yes. Okay, I'll specify the type as enum type. So you see, I'll name it as gender. The way we define a class, similarly we can define a enum type as well. Now you can specify the values, possible values which you want here for this type, gender type. So male or female. That's it. These are the two possible values which I want for this enum type. So that enum gender should be able to hold one of these values. So what values, possible values it should be able to take, that values you can specify them here. Okay. So it is gender type, so it should be either male or female. So that is what it indicates. Okay. Now how do we use this gender type now? It's instead of specifying the type as string, use gender. That's it. Now gender values, possible values are either true, sorry, either male or female. You see, we'll instantiate one of the class, employee class here. You see, contract employee, contract dot see gender equal to. Now you see, it will show you the possible values. Either you can assign female or male. That's it. It will take either male or female. See, you can have to assign the value this way now. Gender dot female or gender dot male. That's it. No other values are allowed here. No other values are allowed here. So hope this is clear for you people. Yes. So can I have yes or no? Is this enum type clear for you people? Similarly, you can create enum type for, you see, day of the week or month of the year. So you can do this. So this is reasonable, right? So we can avoid having, we can avoid or restrict, assigning the values, different values here, the irrelevant values to this types, to this variables. Yes, fine. So generally that is a practice, that's it, because they're kind of constants, right? So we don't want to change them, just their fixed values, that's it. Got it? So you can also use a small case, but just a naming convention. Yes. Generally for constants, most of the times we use uppercase. Yeah. Okay. So this is about your core Java. I got one of the core advanced topics, that is thread programming. But just give me some time. I'll fix a date for that. So I've got a couple of batches where I have to teach it. So I'll merge you people and teach that thread programming. But just give me some time. Now we'll start with one of the advanced topics, that is JDBC. Just introduction today. Okay. JDBC API. So what is JDBC API? This is part of your Java itself. Java if it is called a separate API, it is part of your Java API itself. It is called as Java Database Connectivity API. Java Database Connectivity API. Yeah, just a minute, please. Yeah, sorry. So this is one of the important APIs. It helps us to interact with the database server. This API, it helps us to interact with the database server. So Java applications, if they want to interact with the database server, they're going to use this JDBC API. But now the question is why the Java applications are supposed to use database servers? Uh, Hope everyone is familiar with database. So is there anyone who's not familiar with database servers or database concepts? Yes, please let me know. Don't hesitate. Okay, so I'll help you out. I got some, I got a couple of records for that. Yes. With just a brief introduction, even I'm not a real expert in database, but I know how to use them, reasonably. Yes, you're not entirely familiar. Okay. So did you work with database servers? No. Okay, fine. So there are a couple of records. I'll try to add them to the Dropbox folder. Just try to copy them and go through them. Okay, just copy to your, just go through that database records. Okay. Yes. So as of now, I can say that Java applications, they use this database service to store the data permanently. So earlier, or previously, we have gone through one such option, like you know, the issue was Java objects, they hold the data temporarily, not permanently, right? Java objects, they hold the data temporarily. Now, how do we store the data permanently? How do we store the data permanently? So what was the solution for that? What we did, that object state, the data which is in that objects, how did we store it permanently? Yes. So using the flat files, right? Okay, to write that object state to the flat files, we have used serialization concept where object state was transformed into a sequence of bytes. Yes, and we have written that object state to the file. So the point is files. We have used files to write this object state, flat files. Okay, flat files. Now there are certain issues with that flat files. Though we can store the data permanently, that is one of the options which we got here to store the data, okay, related to the application. But flat files are not much secured. Flat files means your text files, okay, .set files which are used, simple files. Security issue, data organization. They can't hold a huge volumes of data. Again, processing the data, fetching the data and all, quite complicated. So there are such limitations, with the flat files. Security, huge volumes of data, they can't afford to do this. And again, reading the data is not that easy, simple and straightforward. And there is every chance of data duplication. So data is not much organized here. So data duplication is one of the issues again. That is where the database servers were introduced, where they address all these issues like security, high highly secure because data is very important. So it has to be secured. So high security for the data is provided by the database servers. And you got organized data, which will help us to avoid data duplications and all. Structured data, organized data, I can say, to help us to avoid data duplications. And database servers can handle huge volumes of data, unlike your flat files. And you know, they provide us a query language to fetch the records, query the data. Even if you got huge volumes of data, we can quickly fetch the records, not desired records. We got a query language for that. Very simple and easy to use query language, which helps us to, query the data from the database server quickly, that too, very effectively and efficiently. Based on our needs, we can use it. We can do that. Yes. So you'll find that that's the reason why database servers are widely used. Yes. Okay. In recent years, there is a revolution in the database servers as well. Now, the database server which I'm going to talk about is relational database management servers. But you will find that we got another type of database servers now which are very much popular. Have you people heard about it? Apart from RDBMS, relational database management servers, we got other type of servers. What are they? Yes, NoSQL database servers. That's right. So I will definitely, take a session on this NoSQL database servers. I'll, you know, teach you people this NoSQL database servers. Yeah, fine. This is from my side, definitely. So now coming back to this database servers, you see, Java provides JDBC API. I can say that this JDBC API is a standard API which we can use to connect to any database server. You know, in the market, there are so many database servers, you know that. So I just want you people to name the database servers which you people have worked with. Yes, let me see. So what database servers you came across? You're familiar with? Yes. Okay, MS SQL, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, yeah, MS SQL. DB2 is there. People say AS by 400 as well. So there are so many database servers in the market. So many database servers are there. You will find that we can use this JDBC API to connect to any database server. We can use the JDBC API to connect to any database server. Yes, it can be Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL, DB2, MS Access is also considered as a relational database server. So many database servers are there. So you got the support for almost every database server in the JDBC API. So that is the beauty of JDBC API. You know what? This API is a standard API now. So we don't need to really uh, worry about changing the code. There won't be many differences here. That means if you are switching to another database, so you have with a few changes, you will be able to work with another database server. Let's say for suppose you have written the Java code to connect to Oracle server. You will find that you can use that same Java code to connect to MySQL server as well with few changes. Yeah, of course, some sort of modifications you need to do that. Yeah. Okay. So now for the demonstration purpose in our class, I'm going to use MySQL server, but you're free to use any database server. Whatever you have, you can use it. Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, DB2. So whatever you're using, you can continue working with the same database server. Okay. So with few changes, you should be able to definitely use the database server. Okay. I'm sorry, use this code which I'm going to show you people. Because JDBC is a standard API, as I told you people, to connect to any database server. Okay. So if you want the the software, MySQL software, I'll give you the link for that. Okay. Yes. Just a minute. You see, for MySQL server. So this is the official site from where you can download MySQL server. Okay. So for different platforms, you have it. You see, for Microsoft Windows, Ubuntu, Debian, SUSE, Red Hat, Linux, Solaris, Mac. Okay. So now you can, if it's Windows, I suggest you people to go with installer. Okay. You got the download link. You know, with the database server, you'll get Workbench as well here. We got something called as MySQL Workbench, so which will help. It's a graphical user interface which helps you people to easily interact with the database server. Okay. Yes. So I'll show you people once. So let me paste that link, download link. So you see, from this page you can download that MySQL server, and you can install it on your machine. Okay. So the installation will be simple and straightforward. So this is Workbench. That means it's a user interface to access your database server. Earlier, people used to work with command line to interact with the database server, but now you got this GUI, graphical user interface, to interact with the database server, which makes the data access, database server access simple and straightforward. Yeah. So you'll get this GUI also, Workbench also along with the server. Okay, so I gave you the download link, right? Just copy it, paste it somewhere. Yes, so you'll be able to work with it. Yes, fine. So um, now how to work with the database server and all. I got couple of records. Let me see. If you want to know how to create the tables here in the database server and all such things for that, I guess, yeah, I got that records. I will add them, but just it's a not in depth. Okay, just a brief idea. That's it. And I have a request. Please make sure that you copy all the records from the Dropbox folder. I'm going to delete them, at least few old records, 10 to 15 records, previous records. I'll delete them. Did everyone copy the records? Yes. Copy to your local drive. Please make sure that you copy the records to the local drive. Please do that, all of you. Please make sure that you copy them. Okay, don't wait till I ask you people. Just make sure that you copy the records as soon as possible. Okay, yes, fine. So I'll add that to database records, okay, tonight. So you can just go through them. And one more thing, from now on, I'm available after 9 a.m. Indian time. So you can contact me through WhatsApp. So feel free to contact me if you got any issues, any doubts, any help, any support with respect to Java only. Okay. Yes. So you can contact me on this number. Okay. Just make a note of it. You can add me to your WhatsApp and feel free to contact for any queries, any support regarding your Java. Okay. Yes. Your training. Fine. So I'll stop it here early. Okay. Because I know the sound is going to increase. So it's so I'll stop it here. We'll meet tomorrow at our regular time and we'll continue discussion. Okay. Yes. So before I'll add the database records. Okay. If you got some time, go through them before coming to the next class. Yeah. Okay then. So thank you.